All right, guys. Andrew Wilson School's Feminists on Why Men Shouldn't Be Vulnerable. Jump in.
Repeat what you said, like when it came to men revealing certain things about them being vulnerable. Can you just repeat it?
I don't know. I just think that if you have a mindset of, oh, this woman is going to use my emotional vulnerability against me, I think you should work on yourself before dating. Like, I think it's a self problem.
I'll respond. Go ahead.
And I lost my train of thought, but that's like my thing. Like, I just think you need to work on yourself, and not all women are like that. You can't just generalize women and say like, oh, she's going to use it against me. Like,
well, how else? Let me ask you a question.
You're meeting the wrong woman then.
Have this exchange here.
What do you think the tools are of women for attacking men? They can't beat them up. So how do?
Yo, Ryan wanted to jump in, but Andrew's the one being attacked. Or like, I just don't understand you, Ryan.
They do it. They do it through innuendo.
She can answer your question in just a second, but so can you just repeat it one more time?
There we go.
And then I'll have back and forth.
Yeah.
You're a waste of time, man. Why, Brian? Come on, man. It's not about you at this point, man. It's just trying to defeat the idea of these kind of arguments.
I feel like if you have a mindset of thinking like, oh, this woman is going to use my emotional vulnerability against me, I think you should work on yourself before getting into a relationship.
And so do you think that men should pretty much, at what point should they be willing to be emotionally vulnerable from this jump?
Well, everyone, it's case by case. I think you would know as an adult when you can trust someone.
Okay, I guess my question is like, you're a virgin, you've not had sex with a man because you feel like you would get attached and you could get hurt. So men's corresponding fear, which, I mean, I don't know if it's a fear for you, is we don't want to reveal, like Andrew said, certain information that's going to get weaponized against us. Mm-hmm. Most men have, maybe you women have had sort of a corresponding or a symmetrical experience with a man where maybe you revealed to a man something really intimate, and then when the relationship started to crumble, he used these things that he knew about you that other people didn't know, and he weaponized it. Granted, this is something that women do far more commonly. I've had this experience myself. I have anecdotal experience. Eric, I don't know if you have an anecdotal experience where you shared something with a woman, and then when the relationship didn't go her way, you guys were breaking up, whatever, she then weaponized it. She released embarrassing information about you. She released, these sorts of things. In the midst of the breakup, she was like, oh, you were a pussy about this, or whatever it is. So, yeah. I mean, like, I'm just trying to understand here, wouldn't you just... the same kind of angle you're coming at this with, well, oh, you should just do it. Like, couldn't a guy just be like, oh, well, you should just fuck me because...
No, I'm not saying you should just do it. You should do it when you feel like you're ready to open up. But I just don't feel like you should generalize and be like, oh, like, she's going to use it against me.
Can I ask you then just this question briefly?
Go ahead.
I assume that you agree with me that most men who you're going to be in a relationship with, you're not going to be able to beat them up. You can't actually physically probably beat them up.
No,
right?
And I don't want to.
So, right, exactly. So inside of this force dynamic, that is not a tool which is available to you, right? Now, this is terrible to say out loud, but it is the truth. That is actually available to men. They can utilize force. They do it with other men all the time. But it's not something they have to fear from you, ever. They don't have to fear that you're going to beat them up like they have to fear from a guy that they'll get beat up. So the question is what are the tools that women use to attack men? What do? They use innuendo, they use slander, they use rumors, they use things like this. Most of those things come from the men themselves telling these women these things. Since that is the case, you can't beat me up, but you're really mad at me. How are you going to attack me? Well, Bangs over here begins by saying, making some age jokes, right? They can assault your looks. You can start with that route. But if you really want to hit home, right, you're trying to attack the reputation because men care about reputation. So if they open up to you about things like their fears or embarrassing stories or they're emotionally vulnerable to you, how are they not setting themselves up for attack from you?
But isn't that the same thing setting when women be vulnerable?
Sisterhood have to jump in, man. Oh, man. I think one thing is about the sisterhood when they jump in is I think they know it's a gotcha. They're in a corner, so they have to jump in and defend her.
and feminine, you guys like to use that word, are we basically setting ourselves up as well? Men can use that against it. So, but you're making it sound like, oh, men are the victim.
Yeah. Wait. If it were the case that we saw, for instance, that women were putting up, or men were putting up online, like, oh, are you dating my girl? Like women are putting up, are you dating my man? Things like this, which are designed to attack and destroy the reputation of men. Women are far more likely to do this than men are. But women are far more likely to go to court, make up stories. They're far more likely to make up stories in order to get assets like children and child support. They are happy to utilize information and weaponize it to attack men. Men usually don't do this because usually
that is such a lie. That is such a lie.
Almost done.
Nah.
Because when they deal with men, they have the physical option. Men always have the physical option with other men. I don't like you. Bam, you get smacked in the mouth, right? Easy, done, right? This is the option they can always go with. With women, they can't do that. What ends up
I noticed that, but Andrew did something very good here. You see how this lady just jumped in? That's such a lie, and Andrew just kept going. I saw this as well. I think it was in Timcast, and Myron was not debating, but discussing some of the things about female nature and men. And there was a lady here, supposedly libertarian conservatives, these fake conservative, these fake, not fake, but I don't think they understand conservatism. It was a lady, and she was ready to just attack Myron from every angle. And Myron was he was calm. He just kept talking, ignore her. And it looked so smooth, right? Very smooth transition. Andrew did something very similar. I don't know what's the name of this, but I think it has to do with frame.
Happening is they have to use the same tools, which is innuendo, slander. They're not as good at it.
Wait, so by using your example, then shouldn't women have more to lose since they can get hurt, like physically and emotionally?
Well, men aren't attacking women. My point isn't to say that men are out there attacking women in relationships. And right now at the DV rates, for instance, they're pretty equal. What's actually going on, I'm trying to show you a force argument. So let me explain what I mean. So if me and the gentleman who's in the studio with you right now, if I'm in the studio with him, we begin talking shit to each other, he readily has the option available to him to reach across and punch me in the mouth. And probably would if I said the wrong thing, or he may think vice versa. For women, that's not the case. He doesn't have the option to just reach over and punch you in the mouth. Okay? Yes, that is a social taboo, one. So he has to use the same types of tools that you would have to use for physical which would be slander, innuendo, things like this. But because men are generally used to dealing with men and not women, right, they focus on the force aspect, not on the rumor mongering slander aspect. Women focus on that even with each other. So they're way, way, way better at it. So I would say no, men actually have way more to lose by opening up about their vulnerabilities than women do.
Okay, I just want to say, if you're going off by your point, you're basically saying like, oh, we should probably not have sex with men then because we're scared that we're going to get beat up.
That's not what he said. That is literally what he didn't say that. He did not say that, guys. He didn't say that, guys. But somehow that's what he said. That's crazy, huh? He didn't say that at all. What?
That's like basically what you're implying.
What are you talking? No, the opposite. Men are not beating up women in relationships any more than women are attacking men in relationships. What I'm saying is that because men deal with other men through the aspect of the physical, meaning you start a rumor about me and you're a dude and you talk a bunch of shit, I might punch you in the mouth. That's not going to happen with a woman.
Women that do that are just fucking idiots.
So with women, we're forced into the same information war against them, which is slander, innuendo, things like this. But because women deal with each other all the time, they're always in that war. So they're really good at that shit, and men are not. So when you say, to me, it's almost a form of manipulation to say, I'm really attracted to stoic men who have great emotional control, but at the same time, I want them to be vulnerable and open up to me. It almost sounds like a form of manipulation in order for you to accrue knowledge, which can then be used against them.
What the fuck?
Okay, you know what? I'm not.
Who do you the stories that we prefer guys that are willing?
He broke them. He broke them bad, huh?
To the idea, open to the idea of being vulnerable. Period. That's all we were saying.
you're adding.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I'm sorry you don't feel safe in your relationship.
Metro Mac donated $200. A sign of incompetence is confidence in being wrong. These women are a prime example. You are literally hearing but not listening. This is why women need to stop speaking so much and listen.
All right, Metro Matt, thank you. Metro Matt, thank you for the TTS. Sorry for the delay on getting to it. I was away from the computer. Andrew, I think you wanted to steel man her position?
Yeah, I mean, the position is simple. You're just saying that, at the same time, I want this stoic man and this and that. I want a man who's not afraid to open up to me. What I'm saying is that men are at a distinct disadvantage, okay, which is that they don't deal with women the same way women deal with women. Mm-hmm. And when you have one-on-one conversations with women, you find out just how much the gossip mongering within the sisterhood goes, how much the backstabbing goes, and how much they destroy each other's reputation on a daily basis. They do it all the time. It's their mechanism for defense. It's their mechanism for attack. Not for men. Men's mechanism for attack is the physical. They beat the shit out of each other. So they're at a massive disadvantage when it comes to utilizing information in a way which is predatory or harmful to women, whereas women are not at that disadvantage with men. That's why when you say, I want you to open up and be emotionally vulnerable to me, right? What you're really asking is for them to give you weapons which can then later be used against you, even if it's not by you. It could just be that you gossip with your girlfriends and tell them whatever it is that his emotional weaknesses are, this or that, and they use it against him. Mm-hmm. But the truth is that they are at a disadvantage, like it or not.
Well, that's why it's important to really take your time with showing that vulnerable side. Like, it doesn't have to be immediate. It could be after months or after years, if that's really how long it takes. Just really be sure. Sorry.
Like aren't you vulnerable with your wife? Like, you're married. Like, haven't you gotten that point with her?
No. I make sure that, well, first of all, I don't think that women even like it when you're vulnerable with them. I think that that's cope and bullshit anyway.
He's not even attracted to his wife anymore.
I don't think my wife would want me even to be
she really want to go that low. Wow. Okay. So I think all odds are, how can I say this? So there's no rules, I guess. This at this point is open season, it's open game, right?
Emotionally vulnerable or something like this. I don't even think that she would want that.
Okay.
What would be the point in the principle? Women don't value that. They don't value emotionally vulnerable men. They exploit emotionally vulnerable men.
Coming
they don't
from
value
a man.
them.
Why are women always like the problem and like the enemy in the situation? Oh, men can't open up because women are gonna attack them and women are gonna use it against them. You literally said it.
When did I say that they were the enemy? You're just making shit up.
Because you're acting like it. You're like, whenever women have the chance to bite back at a man, they're gonna bite back and they're gonna use. Let me speak, dude. You fucking talk so much.
Go ahead. Calm down. Go ahead.
Okay, like in your story and in your head, women are the enemy. Like, it's so obvious. It's so clear. You can ask anybody here. Women are clearly the enemy in your story.
You make an argument.
Do you mind if I like?
So here's
you see this Chris? She hasn't say anything. But she knows she's just about to get cooked, but she had to come in and interrupt the conversation. Yo, I'm telling you, man, that this phenomenon of the collective female mindset, man, is so interesting, man. So interesting.
Is because there's a distinction in interpersonal dynamics between the sexes, that if I bring up those distinctions, that somehow that makes the women the enemy. So let's just test and see if this is true, Bangs. Okay, so
yeah, because you're taking a personal opinion just
wait,
because.
Hold on, no. You got to let him finish.
You speak so much.
You got to let him finish.
I'm just going to ask you a question. Do you think that men or women are better at weaponizing information to destroy the other? Men or women?
Women, absolutely.
Yeah, women, absolutely. So all you're doing is making my point for me when I point out this intersexual distinction which exists, and that you're actually asking men to take a greater risk by being emotionally vulnerable than you are risking back. Now, can you make an argument against that, or can't you?
Okay, but women are emotionally vulnerable all the time, so now they have this emotional vulnerability against them as well as physical.
Oh, bullshit.
Oh my god, dude, just shut the fuck up. You're so fucking annoying.
Go ahead.
So I think what he's saying, I do understand from his point of view and from his experience, this is how he understands women. And I think that's totally valid because earlier you were saying,
yo,
like,
she just gaslight the hell out of Andrew with that argument, bro. Oh my God. Look at her.
From his experience, this is how he understands women.
Yes, see, Andrew, you're very dumb. So we have to just dumb it down, right? Because what you're saying, Andrew, you know, is your experience. You know, I wish you well. And you know, hopefully, you know, things get better for you. And you know, I understand, little puppy. You know, whatever you're going through. Oh my God.
Totally valid because earlier you were saying, like, we were giving you an opinion. You were like, this is not how men think. I'm telling you how men think. So can we just take a quick poll at this table? If men or let me backtrack.
Yo, she's trying to take control of the situation. Man, get the hell out of here, man. She's trying to take control of the show too. Nah, we're not playing that. If it's Brian smart, if Brian can catch up what's going on right now, he'll be the superstar. He will be a superstar.
I would prefer a man in this case, who is more emotionally vulnerable versus a man who, say, isn't emotionally vulnerable.
Show of hands for that, I guess.
I'm like pretty neutral.
But that's a reason why we
have something to react to. Go ahead.
But that's the whole point of this topic was simply because I was looking for the word vulnerable. Like I like men that can get there with me, and then because like I'm not trying to be a bitch or anything like that.
Here, can you give us an example of what this would look like, just so?
Okay, it would be more just like I don't know, just like for example, I'd be like I would constantly just be like. I'm too lazy to go off the bed and go grab the remote that's like right there. I'm like, go get that. But the way I say it, it's very.
What does that have to do?
What that has to do with anything? Yeah, that's a good question. She just like to be. She has a weird fetish, girl. She's trying to pretend to be this strong woman, but she looked like a little puppy. She pretended to be this little strong woman, but she's nothing. She's like a little puppy, man. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you next one.